Welcome to this video, Bodhicaryavatara, chapter 7, verse 18. Here is the analysis of it for you. There we are. Te pyasan dansha mashaka makshika krimayastata yai rutsaha vashat prapta durapa bodhiruttama. And again, te pyasan dansha mashaka makshika krimayastata yai rutsaha vashat prapta durapa bodhiruttama. Te pi. My iPad screen, here we are. Te. They. Those, masculine plural nominative just means they. And te api. Even those two. So even they. And by santi, te plus api becomes te pi. That's why we have te pi. And of course followed by asan, they were, because the pi becomes pure because of the following vowels. So te piasan, te api asan, they too were. Sometimes te piasan. Sorry, the root as to be, not to be confused with as meaning to sit. This is as with the short a is to be. The imperfect is that it's regularly formed here. It's the a, which is you stick on the front to make it imperfect. A plus the root plus the an, the third person plural imperfect ending. So a as an becomes asan, means they were. So te piasan, they too were. What were they? What were they? Dansha mashaka. The root dash or dansh means to bite, and it is connected with Latin dentist, the tooth, and by a different root actually connected with our word tooth, you bite with the teeth. So a dasha is a biter, but then specifically used to mean a gadfly, a biting fly, like a horsefly. So they too were gadflies and gnats. You see this, the root mush, meaning to buzz or to hum. So a mashaka is a buzzer or a hummer, meaning a gnat, the sound that a cloud of gnats makes, that humming sound. So they too were gadflies and gnats. Makshika krimayastata. Makshika, that's makshika, it's a masculine noun, so it makes its plural, nominative plural, makshika, meaning a fly. And we have the, in modern Italian, mosca, same in Spanish, and a little fly from the same makshika. So the Spanish for a little fly is a mosquito. You see, there's a little fly. And this word mosquito, of course, come to English from the Spanish word mosquito, from mosca. And it's etymologically the same as this makshika, meaning a fly. So they too were, gadflies, gnats, flies. Krimeas tata, thus can also mean and, as well as krimeas, worms. Krimi. And it makes the plural krimaya, worm. And because it's followed by a T, krimayas tata, that changes to an S, as in lama, namaste, krimaya, krimayas tata. So out of the list of insects, mashika I can't trace to any known word or word that I know in a European language, but we've got 3 out of 4, Desha, Makshika and Krimeas, that are traceable to even as far as English. And by the way, Krimea, Krime, worm, our English word worm. You do sometimes find that a word with a k in Sanskrit has a w in English. As, for example, the kwa in Sanskrit is where, and so on. And ko in Sanskrit, ko in English, who. So a krimi, worm, a worm. So those people too, te piasan, those two were these various insects and worms. Yair is the yai relative instrumental plural, by whom. They too were worms, by whom this enlightenment has been won. So they don't give up, because those who have, even those people, tepi, even those people by whom enlightenment has been won, were once flies and worms. So if you have the good fortune to be a human being, you're better off than a fly and a worm. So if you see flies and worms have made it, that increases your chances. So don't give up. That's the message that's being given here. So Yair, by whom, by the way, because it's followed by a vowel, Yair utsaha vashat, utsaha. Yai utsaha vashat, because it's followed by the vowel, this becomes a r. That's why it's Yair utsaha vashat. By whom Bodhir Uttama, the supreme enlightenment, prapta, has been obtained, has been won. So Yair Bodhi prapta. Let's simplify the sentence. By whom we've had this root up. I think we had it in the previous verse, or was it two verses back? Up, to obtain, and the pra plus up, pretty much the same, to obtain, but with the suggestion obtaining by conscious effort. So if something has been prapta, that's the passive participle, that means it has been obtained, it has been like being won, achieved. So Yair Bodhi prapta, by whom Bodhi, Buddhahood, prapta, has been achieved. Now, Bodhir, Yair Bodhi prapta, help, I need help too. Sorry, let me just stop this. Sorry, iPad playing up, here we are again. So, yair bodhi prapta, by whom enlightenment has been achieved. Now let's add in here, yair bodhi uttama. Uttama, feminine, the utmost or the highest. Incidentally, this uttama is cognate with our English word outmost. So out, like further out, the thing furthest out, furthest away. Outmost, that which is furthest out, therefore the highest, is cognate with uttama, the outest, the outmost, meaning the supreme. So yair bodhir uttama prapta, by whom this supreme enlightenment has been won. Ap, to obtain. If something is durapa, we've made now an adjectival, compound adjectival ending from ap. So durapa means difficult to obtain. So dur or dush doesn't always mean bad, it can mean difficult. So durapa. So this bodhir, prapta durapa. It's durapa, difficult to obtain, but it is prapta. It has in fact been obtained. Utsahavashat. I've done a note, a special note, in verse 2 in this chapter on the meaning of utsaha. So you can go back and refresh your memories on that. Utsaha is the idea of not just an effort, there's more exertion. It's a concerted effort to get what you want. And here it's the concerted effort to win this bodhi, this durapa bodhi, this difficult to obtain bodhi. Vasha means power or strength. At the end of a compound, and if you put in the ablative, it often means by virtue of, literally by strength of. So utsaha vashat, literally from the power of exertion, means by virtue of exertion, but by the power, by the strength of exertion. So utsaha vashat. By the way, we've had this word para, meaning other. If somebody is paravasha, he's other power, it means he's subject to, he's under the power of another. He's not a free agent, he's paravasha, other-powered, somebody else's power over him rather than his own power. And one final thing, of course, bodhi is a feminine noun, and that is why we have the three feminine adjectives here. So this bodhi, uttama, in the feminine form, the utmost, the supreme, durapa, feminine form, difficult to win, difficult to obtain, prapta, again the feminine form of the adjective, has in fact been won, has been won. So I will read this to you again. Here we are. Te pyasan dangshamashaka makshika krimayastata yairutsahavashat prapta durapa bodhiruttama. Before I do the last reading, I forgot to mention, if you look dangshamashaka, mashaka, okay. In the grammatical analysis, I'll put in the visarga, because the nominative plural is mashaka with the visarga. But because here, if you see where the cursor is, so my cursor's playing up a bit, we have a word that on its own would end in that's the long with the visarga, the subdotted h, followed by a voiced consonant, the m, and so the visarga just drops out. That's why it's not mashika, makshika, but mashika, makshika. And of course, after makshika, that's followed by a k, so that remains unchanged, makshika krimayas tata. And as I've said, actually this down here, the word on its own would be krimaya tata, but by sandhi krimayas tata. Right, I'll give you the last reading of it now. Te pyasan dansha mashaka makshika krimayas tata, yairutsa vashat prapta durapa bodhir uttama. And that concludes verse 18.